Join me in welcoming my next guest as she walks us through her story, what championing her success means to her, and how she can influence you in standing in your own truth and just be different.
My name is Lisa Tompkins. I'm from Calgary, Alberta. And I coach and I train people to realize their truth about themselves, coach them in their life through problems or roadblocks. And I also work as a holistic esthetician and hairstylist, and I'm in the world of education.
Did you go become an educator first or a coach?
Education came first, and then I just recognized that I have a gift with people, that I can reach them, and I meet them where they are. I meet them with compassion and love and understanding, and when you have that foundation, you can coach them easily because there's lots of trust.
It's our honor here at Posted Fillie to have you to present your story, because just how you say it, where you have a talent. I've met a lot of people out there that we know what their potential are, and this is exactly the reason why the show exists, is we want to be able to reach everyone and say, hey, you have your highest potential. In order for you to get that, you have to realize that you have it first. And for you to sit here with me and just say, you know, I have this gift that I can educate people and counsel people and see where they're at, and I can help them build moving forward from there. Where did that come from? Where did that come, the courage and the confidence, where did you get to that point?
Well, in education and working with like young adults, it's just knowing what it was like to be in that space and time, in that body experience when you're in your 20s and you're struggling, or you're always hitting roadblocks, and you're learning and you're expanding and you're doubting yourself and not really believing in who you really are and everything that you bring to the world. And then in education, they're looking to you as someone who can guide them. And it just felt so natural to go from education to coaching, and then I'm a licensed workshop leader too, so I can then
so it kind of seemed to progress there. So you started with education, and then in education you found this gift and you explored it and you stood by it, and now it's taken you to the coaching and to being a leader and a workshop leader. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Workshops where people come and they realize what it is in their life, that, you know, what is their intention? What is their purpose? How do I connect with people? How are my relationships? How am I functioning in the world? How am I showing up at work? How's my love relationships? How's my career? How are my finances?
So it's almost like asking questions to dig deep as to who you really are. Those are the kind of workshops that you lead.
Yep, and then it's, you know, what are the belief systems I have? And do they serve me? Do they come from my family? Do they come from my culture? Do they come from my peers? What's my truth? And what stands in the way of my greatness?
So let's talk about belief, and you've mentioned that, you know, is it from my family? Is it from my environment? Is it from my friends? How do you make it your own? Is it okay to say, I'm going to have a little bit of this, I'm going to have a little bit of this, and try a number of different things? Because that's what I did when, fortunately, I was born in a very religious environment, and in high school I started questioning. So I went to 6 different religions back in my home country, which is the Philippines, and I sat down and I remembered with all the Hare Krishnas. They took me in for a night with my parents' permission, of course, because I was very young then. And it's very, very important that you tell your parents what you guys are up to. As much as you love to explore the world, you need guidance, right? So after I got a permission from my parents, I went into the Hare Krishnas, and that's when I got introduced to becoming vegetarian and to chant and to have that mindfulness. So now I stand here before you guys today, you know, bringing in influencers to champion who you are, but I didn't get here without trying a lot of things. So you're talking about belief system, which ties into a whole different things, but where do you start calling belief system on your own and make it your own?
Well, I think it's like you were raised in an organized religion. Like as you grow and you transform and you expand and you start to know who you are, does that serve me? Does that serve my soul self? Does that fit for me? Am I doing it because my parents taught me how to do that? Or am I doing it because it's my truth? So it's knowing, and it's not saying don't believe in what your family believes in. If that's your soul's calling, by all means, honor it. But what's true for you in your sexuality, in your partnerships? I just worked with a 17-year-old that would love to be in the fashion world, but she's going to medical school and becoming a doctor because that's the expectation of her family. And so that's her belief system is, I honor my family, what they want for me. And she's not going to honor herself. So
and that's okay.
That's okay.
That's okay. As long as you're fully taking accountability and
doing it with joy and service and go, okay.
Because you always have a choice.
Yeah.
And as much as we have open conversations, say, really, you don't really have a choice. Like, no, hold on a minute. I do have a choice. And even if, you know, there's a number of people out there that are, you know, some people are dominant than others. And when someone more dominant than you is telling you that you have to do this, and you go up to them and say, I don't want conflict, because conflict is never a good thing, right? And if there is conflict, then ask yourselves questions that, you know, if I do this, when I do this, is it something that would serve me inside? How am I going to be able to turn this around knowing that I have to do this because I don't have a choice, which I don't really believe in that word, and still be joyful and grateful and stand every day in my truth that say, you know what, I'm doing this for this. So it's more or less a channeling that energy and channeling your perception. So even have that conversation, say, hey, you want me to do this, and maybe ask them, you know, this is what I feel. If you are able to, if you ask the dominant person to put themselves in your shoes as the one that they're telling you to do because you don't have a choice, then maybe that would strike a conversation and take it from there.
Yeah, and I think we have to honor our lives where we're at, and honor our parents, and honor the cultures we've been raised in, and honor the sort of the sexuality, the belief system around sexuality in your family, or organized religion, or you know, how you want to show up in the world. Some families are so education focused instead of connection and bonding families.
Right.
It's just go for the education and your life will be happy. And, you know, as I came into my 50s, I could have said this was a success and I had children and I was married, but there was an aching from my truth that I wasn't honoring.
And
so,
you were talking to us about when you were 50 and you still felt that there was an ache in your truth.
Yeah, and it's just, am I honoring my soul self? Am I waking up every day with intention to serve? If I serve and love myself and I can show up and know that I deserve the best this world has to offer, I have so much to give. And even if I'm with people that don't agree with me or they're from a different belief system, I can say, hey, in love and respect, we can serve each other.
You can find Lisa and where to find her down in the links below. And if you're one out there that are questioning what are the right questions to ask you, because there's no right or wrong, and there's not one question that would answer everything that you're looking for in standing in your own truth.